How's it going? It's PM Vapes, and kind of have a little DIY project. As you see, I have a bunch of different rebuildable atomizers here and a couple little clearomizers, or one clearomizer. What I've been usually doing to store them is just set them on the top of a wire spool, keep it upright, keep the juice from spilling out. But I've come up with a better idea, and was buying a couple packs of 510 to e-go adapters, or you can just do some 510 to 510 adapters. Going to basically get something, epoxy these into it, and give us a place where we can screw in an atomizer, and it'll just sit there. And if you pick it up, you can move them around. You don't have to worry about them toppling over or anything. So I'm going to go head to the store, get some pieces and parts, and find some stuff to make this happen. And we're back from the store. I'm back. We're back. Whoever's back. So, of course, had to get some wood finish so I could stain it to where penetrate stains and seals. That way we don't have to worry about the e-juice, seeping into the wood and staining it, making it look like garbage. So, I also got a nice little gun stock finish. Kind of has a cool color to it. Got a piece of trim, which I think this is actually for around, doors and stuff like that, I guess. Would have liked if it would have been kind of decorative on this side, but whatever, it'll work. So basically we're going to drill some holes into this and sink these down until I'm epoxy it and stain all this. Then I picked up this little trim piece that I'm going to drill same way in that, drill in the center and mount a piece so when I'm doing builds, I can just screw the atomizer on there and work on it instead of that. When you're torquing down all your screws and stuff, you're not spinning it. If you're using it on like your own meter or something, risk breaking the connector on your own meter. So we're gonna go get all this marked and stained, and probably have some video along the way doing that. So either the next part will be a finished product, or it'll be some clips of building this. And we're back. Got a little bit more progress here. Got I realized that of the 2 blocks of wood I bought, this one had a little bit of more grain in it than the other one. A little bit more, but now that stain you really can't tell too much. I mean, you can see the grain, but the other one was more just, a nice smooth piece, which, whatever, but I chose to use the one that had more of the grain in it. As you can see, there is one extra mess up right here. Wasn't really paying attention. Thought it was a marked hole, but it wasn't, and but it's not a problem. Went ahead and drilled up the holes. These back holes are gonna be for your standard size stuff, Pro tank standard size, 22 mil or so. I made the spacing a little bit bigger to fit stuff, to where the atomizers aren't right up on top of each other, and those ones in the front are for your 28.5, 30 millimeter devices. And then we have the other piece that's going to be for, whenever I do a review video or whenever I'm building stuff, just a single hole right in the middle. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for these to dry a little bit more, throw another coat of this Minwax wood finish gun stock color. Throw another coat on there, maybe 2 more coats, I don't know. And I'm not really going for a real even, as you can tell, in the middle it's a little darker. I'm just trying to give it a little character, so whatever. But give it a little bit of time to dry, and then I'll come back, throw another coat on both pieces, see what we're looking like. and then I'll come back to you whenever I'm epoxying in all the 510 to Ego adapters. So, be back in a little bit. Alright, and we're back. It's about 11 o'clock the next day. We're working on this about 11 o'clock last night. Got the epoxy, mixed it up on some aluminum foil with some toothpicks, and brought the 2 stands in. Got everything epoxied in place. So, the only thing I noticed is that you want to make sure that you don't have any epoxy coming up through the hole in the center of your 510, because that will affect, that can't, it'll get in there and mess up all the threading and everything. You won't be able to put screw an atomizer down on it, so it'll be one peg that you just can't use. So be careful about that if you're doing this. I found out you really don't need to put much epoxy on there. I think I drilled out the holes about 1/4 inch and screwed these in, but overall I'm pleased with how it's coming along. So stay tuned for the next update, which is going to be everything all dry. I'm going to put some stuff on here and see how it works. How's it going? So I noticed an issue that this camera has, and it's kind of like a weird thing. When I first turn it on, I noticed that it doesn't quite pick up my levels correctly on the mic. It takes a couple seconds for it to get adjusted over to it. So it's kind of an interesting little thing. Didn't know it did that. But as you see, I have a couple different devices here, and I basically have the stand organizer holder that I made, as well as the little building platform. Which, one thing I thought about with this is that when you're building stuff, you can, if you have some coils or something, you can kind of have them in the base and have what you're working on up top, or say so as you're building stuff, you can kind of have the bits and pieces sitting in the bottom, screws and whatnot, so they don't go rolling around and get lost, especially if you have to leave what you're working on and go do something else. You don't have to worry about coming back and being a screw missing. You can just have it hanging out in the bottom. So that's pretty much that. I mean, as I said, I did the 510 Ego adapters so I can screw on stuff that's like this Atomizer that has Ego threading, and just throw that on there like that. So we'll go ahead and throw my K-Fun clone on here. And a few of these I actually do need to do a review on. The little steam turbine clone, throw that on here. The brass monkey clone. I actually do need to do quite a few reviews on these. And I'll just throw this little starter kit Atomizer on here. And as you can see, if you need to pick this up and move it somewhere, nothing's gonna fall off. It'll stay on there. And then, as I said, these front 3 are for your larger 28.5, 30 mil atomizers, and these in the back are for my Atomizers and stuff like that. So if you want to build one of these, I think all in all, with buying everything I needed for the project, probably you're looking at spending about $20 or so. You may spend a little bit more depending on who you buy these from. These connectors from Fast Tech, some JB Weld epoxy, the stain, which if you want to stain it, or if you just have some paint you want to throw on there, either way. I believe it was a 1/4 inch drill bit that I used to drill the holes for these. Really a project that you could kind of start on before you go to bed, go to sleep, and finish it the next day. So as I said, I'm happy with my little project here, and now when I need to move these around, I don't have to pick them up individually or try to manage them, and especially with builds, I don't have to just be using my own meter and worry about while I'm tightening down. Because as y'all know, when you're tightening down the the threads on your atomizers, they like to, because you're turning in the same direction, that'll tighten it on this. So sometimes you'll tighten it and turn it more on the threading, which my concern is messing up the 510 connection on my ohm checker, and then I have to spend more money on an ohm checker. This is epoxied in there, and I don't think it's going anywhere. If it does, I'll just clean up the threading and re-epoxy it back in there. So a little inexpensive little DIY vape project. I know you can buy stuff like this online, but I felt like building one myself, and if you have the tools and a little bit of know-how, it's not really a difficult project at all. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Questions, comments, put them down below. Hit the like button. Let me know that you liked the video, obviously. And if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button. As I've said many times before, I'm working on getting more DIY stuff on this channel, and this is my first step in getting that DIY content out there. So thanks for watching, and I know this was a little bit of a longer video, but I appreciate you sticking through. And if you build something like this, let me know. Put a link in the comments to your video so other people can check out what you created. So you know, I guess just to keep on going for a little bit on this, you could do other things, like you could take a bit, and you know, if you used a larger piece of wood, you could put little places to store juice at. You could integrate like an area where you could have your battery charger kind of velcroed onto your stand. You know, you can kind of, just depends on how much work you want to put into what you're building. I know there are companies out there selling stands for your vape gear, but the reason why I didn't go with something like that is because I wanted to do this method of attachment. I wanted 510 ego connections where my devices would actually be screwed to it, and I didn't want any. So, and I haven't really actually seen anything out there that uses this method. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. Hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, have a good one.